and welcome back. And unfortunately, no video on Wednesday this week, but there will be one obviously today on Friday. So, like I do with most of my Friday videos, it won't be so much news or current events, but this will be more of a, I guess, personal interest piece, right? So, as a lot of you know, I'm on TikTok a lot. I do watch a lot of the trends, and I usually go more for current events. But a lot of times I get a lot of relationship advice and dating advice on TikTok. Now, some of it is pretty good, some of it's decent, and there's a lot of it that's just downright awful. So today I have a bit, or I guess a phrase that came up while I was on TikTok, and it came up, and it was something that generated a lot of interest, and I was a bit skeptical about it. So today I figure we're going to go through it, see what we can find out about it, and I'll offer the best of my abilities any kind of advice or I guess kind of breakdown of whether or not I think this is really something worth like worrying about or freaking out over, or if there's ways around it, and how you can kind of like I guess navigate that space. So let's get into it. So first, from Yahoo here, we have, why is weaponized incompetence blowing up on TikTok? Because too many of us do it. That's the answer. They answer the whole thing right there. Okay, so let's see what this has to say. So this is a pretty recent article, so we're going to go through it and see what we can find here. So, "I'll just do it myself" is a phrase that has escaped my mouth many a time, often uttered with a sigh. I know I'm not alone in my willingness to take matters into my own hands, to have total control of a situation either. Which is why so many of us wear a perfectionist badge pinned to our chests. Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess I can agree with that. Sometimes people do it yourself. It's like the old Thanos meme, like, fine, I'll do it myself or whatever. So, yeah, I could see that being a problem if you're continually having to do that over and over again. It says, when you expect things to be done to a certain standard, you often end up just doing it yourself, so you're not faced with disappointment or the inevitability of redoing a task. It's something I've unknowingly done with partners, friends, family, and coworkers. It makes things easier for everyone, right? What I failed to realize is that this sets an opposing standard for the person who I'm letting off the hook. Okay, so first bit of contention I have with it here. So right here, the first thing I open with here is when you expect things to be done to a certain standard. So if you have a way you like something done, okay, it's important that you communicate with somebody that you're asking. If you're asking someone to do it for you, you have to communicate that intent to them, or communicate what you want to them. So if I say I'm getting ready to eat and I'm laying all my dishes out, right, and I always like, fork on the left and knife on the right, okay, and I don't tell anybody that. I just tell, say, a partner in this situation or whoever. I say, hey, can you set out all the plates, okay? And so they do it however they see fit, because I didn't say anything else. If I just say to them, hey, set the plates out, and then they do it however they want, because I didn't tell them how I wanted it, and then I get mad at them, right? Retrospectively, if I get mad at them and then say, hey, whoa, you didn't do this the way that I wanted you to. This is not good. Well, that's a problem, because if I don't set the expectation, then they have no idea. If I tell them, hey, I want forks on the left, knives on the right, and then they still don't do it, well then yeah, maybe then I go, okay, you weren't paying attention to me or whatever. But anyway, I'm going off. Let's move on here. So this dawned on me after watching TikTok videos of people making fun of their partner's inability to do simple tasks and the degree to which they have to handhold them. Okay. This comes across as a little condescending, okay? The thing is, if you're why are you making fun of your partner? If this is somebody that you genuinely want to be with and someone that you genuinely care about, I don't think you should be blasting their habits and stuff all over TikTok. I think that's very irresponsible. And again, inability to do simple tasks. It depends on what you're doing. So it also depends on level of experience for things, right? So me, for instance, right, I am, by no stretch of the imagination, I am not the world's greatest cook. I can cook, but I'm not amazing at it, okay? So if you were to tell me, hey, I need you to cook this 3-course meal, it's got to have, all this, that, and the other things, there's specific times for stuff, and then I want you to, not only do I want you to cook, but I want you to, bake something, whatever, and make sure it's all ready at, the same time. that may be a difficult task for me because I'm not the greatest of cooks. Whereas somebody else who's much more experienced, they might look at it and say, oh yeah, super easy, done, 10 minutes, boom, okay? Hell, just recording this video, right? Obviously, like, I have a whole setup, I have the microphone, I have the interface, I have the recording software, the camera, everything already set up, ready to go, the green screen, the lighting. Now, if I told somebody who had no experience with any of this, or very little experience with this, hey, I need you to record a video for me, and it's got to look exactly like this, and then never tell them the steps for getting there, they're not going to know. And now I'm going to sit there and say, oh my God, why, how does this person not know what they're doing? How, oh my God, what are these idiots, right? They're so incompetent. Well, I didn't set up the standard. I didn't tell them what to do. Anyway, let's read on. Like the woman who created a detailed A4 shopping list complete with photos of grocery products and what aisle number they were found in, as well as hand-drawn map of the store. First of all, this is absolutely insane. Okay? First of all, why are you doing this for someone? Why are you making a grocery list with product descriptions, aisle numbers, map of the store? Why are you doing that? Okay? If you do this every single time and you're complaining that you have to do it, then stop doing it, right? That's the best advice I can give somebody for that part. Like, just stop doing it. Why are you forcing it on people? Why are you trying to do this and then complain? Like, you're doing something for someone and then complaining that they don't have a good grasp of it. Just stop doing it. They'll figure it out. And if they don't figure it out, then you take things to the next step. Okay? Or the woman who is caring for her 2 young children while her partner comes downstairs at 11 a.m. after sleeping in, sitting on a toilet for 45 minutes, shaving, and taking a long hot shower. The truth is, this is all learned behavior. That I will agree with, okay? First of all, if you don't set standards, if you don't set ways you want something to be done, if you don't find and lay out how, if there is a task that you are so dead set, it has to be done a certain way, then make sure they know about that. Make sure they have that that guidance, that they have those stipulations or whatever that you're laying out, the way that you like it done. They should know that, right? You should have that. If it's so crucial that everything is done in this perfect way, set that up ahead of time. Let them know. Okay. The phenomena of shirking unpleasant tasks by pretending not to be able to do them has come to be known as weaponized incompetence or strategic incompetence, a term first coined in 2007 and is now trending on TikTok. It holds over 5.6 million views because, let's face it, things haven't really changed. While it's categorized here by the trope of a negligent or obtuse husband, it can also manifest in the workplace, in various family structures, and in friendships. Sure. Okay. It might look like that a coworker who half-asses their cleanup kitchen duty or complains that they don't know what goes in the recycling, or it might be the friend that forgets to book a restaurant reservation or relies on you to manage travel directions. Okay? This is where it's starting to get a little off deep end here, okay? So a coworker who half-asses their cleanup duty. Here's the thing. If you're working somewhere, and you say you don't like your job, right? You're not going to put all this extra work in, right? Half-assing also is just a very subjective term, right? Because let's say we'll take the option of cleaning something, right? Say there is something that needs to be cleaned, okay? When you're cleaning, there are more than one way to go about cleaning, right? I could say take a little soap, sponge, give it a quick wipe down, done, okay? It's clean. But then someone else could come along and say, whoa, 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 I don't view that as clean. Not only do you have to make sure you get the water just right, but you have to, use a correct amount of soap, and then you have to wash it, rinse it down after you soap it, whatever. And so, yeah, like if my standard of clean doesn't meet your standard of clean, then we're miscommunicating somewhere, okay? Now, the friend that forgets to book a restaurant reservation. Here's the problem with that example, okay? Now, relies on you to manage travel directions. Some people are just not very good with directions or not very good at navigating certain areas. There's a lot more there. Forgetting to book a restaurant reservation, I think, is a garbage example of this, because here's the thing. Some people don't have very good memories, okay? We probably know plenty of people who don't have the best of memory. Calling it weaponized incompetence or strategic incompetence puts this level of villainy into it, that this friend that's forgetting to book a restaurant is doing it purposely because they don't want to. They just want you to do it. They're lazy. They're where. I don't think so. I think people just can be forgetful, and sometimes it happens, and it's unfortunate. Okay. When he was younger, the first time Neil Shiminsky, a professor at Cambridge College, was asked to wash the dishes by his mom, he told his little brother he had a strategy. That strategy was that I would do such a bad job that she would never ask me to do it again. He said on TikTok, I was faking incompetence, where you pretend to be bad at something so somebody else will do it for you. It creates a lot of extra labor for everyone else. Now, okay, this example also I think is pretty bad because this person is talking about a time when they were a child and conspiring with their brother to do something, to do a cleaning task that neither of them wanted to do. Okay? This is something like young kids do this, right? You tell them to clean their room. You tell them there's, of course they don't want to do it. They have other things that they're busy with that they don't want to do. So now the ploy, of course, here of just wasting time and not actually doing it. They know, though, what they know is they know their mother will get mad and will do it for them, okay? So therefore, you're not helping anybody in this situation. If anything, you're making, anything that the mother in this situation is the one that's reinforcing this behavior. Because rather than, say, reprimanding your child and saying, I need you to do it again, you just pick up the pieces and just do it for them. That's learned, like I said, when they say up here, yeah, that this is a learned behavior, that's right. So no, you shouldn't be making fun of your partner or complaining about, like, no, you should just do what you want them to do or tell them what you want them to do. And then when they don't do it correctly, you either A, make them do it again, which I will admit is hard to do in a situation with a partner, especially like your adult partner, because, obviously like they're adults, right? But you should be able to have that conversation with them. Okay. TikTok user and motivational speaker Cindy Noir points out that the victims of weaponized incompetence are often the ones witnessing it. What I can't help but think about is how does weaponized incompetence impact the kids and the overall family dynamic, she said on TikTok. Okay, well, again, it's a learned behavior. They said this earlier in the article. If you're allowing it to happen, if you're doing something that is letting this behavior continue, if you're not being clear about what you want, of course, you're letting it go on, okay? It says, because weaponized incompetence shows kids that even though there's two parents in the home, only one is trustworthy and reliable. And it shows kids that what all kids have to do to get out of what they don't want to do, as well as they should allow and do in their future. That is a weird sentence. Okay, basically it just teaches kids to do it too. Okay, yeah, fair enough. The problem is this other thing too. There's two parents, but only one is trustworthy and reliable. That's so like demonizing of someone. Like the thing is that in a relationship, okay, if you have a two-parent relationship, okay, you should divide up evenly things that you do. Now, maybe it's not super even, okay? Maybe some of the tasks, say partner A is better at certain things or prefers certain things than partner B. Say home repairs, partner A is better at that. Well, then yeah, obviously that might be a little uneven, but like divide tasks. You should be having, these are conversations that you should be having with your significant other or with your partner before they become a problem, okay? All right, we'll leave this last little bit here. Over time, the additional mental baggage and workload can build up and cause relationship tension, stress, and friction. The imbalance of labor is often something people have to unlearn, especially when it's gendered. Studies conducted during last year's lockdown confirm that the division of domestic labor in heterosexual couples still relies predominantly with cis women. Okay? Of course, any partner in any relationship can find themselves guilty of this kind of manipulation without even realizing they're doing it. But it doesn't have to be this way. Partners can take active steps to try to balance chores and tasks out again, having open conversations as they go. Hey, look at that, exactly what I've been saying this entire time. Okay? This last little bit. TikTok users that darn chat series division of labor dives into this complex topic. She recommends the Fair Play deck, a couples conversation deck for prioritizing what's important, which includes tasks like who keeps in touch with the in-laws and who buys gifts for people, acknowledging the work that comes with community building and caregiving. And the next time you feel the urge to take over a basic task that it looks like someone won't get just right, remember, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Exactly. That is like a perfect example for that, right? Like, don't just, if you keep doing the task over and over again and keep complaining, it's never going to get better. All right, so we have a second little article here. This one from, here we go, from InStyle magazine. So this one says, the sneaky relationship ploy that's screwing over women. Oh boy. So we'll get to this one. So there's probably going to be more of the same. And looks like they reference the same person. Okay, so we'll get going. So, okay. Many mothers in cis-hetero relationships have experienced the frustrating, enraging, baffling experience of directing our male partners to do something related to childcare or domestic work, only to end up watching them half-ass the task at hand, or worse, fail to do it entirely. One such example, as illustrated by that darn chat on TikTok, is a mom being gifted a half hour to exercise by her male partner, who subsequently falls asleep while, quote, watching their baby. Okay. Laura, the creator behind it, calls this weaponized incompetence, and her video breaking down the term has gone viral, receiving nearly 500,000 likes and being shared almost 25,000 times. It's also inspired some spin-off videos like this one by Not Wild, whatever, which begins with an analysis of a woman's grocery list illustrated in excruciating detail for her apparently inept husband. That's the one they were looking at before, the grocery list. Okay. So same stuff before. So, okay, talk about mom being gifted half an hour to exercise. So, okay. I haven't seen the video, but I think this word gifted, unless literally the person's husband said, hey, I'm going to gift you half an hour to exercise, then yeah, I think that's just kind of baiting people there. I reached out to Laura, who said another creator brought the phrase to her attention about a year ago. She can't remember the original source video, but a bunch of the other people's and others have also posted about. Laura posted her first video about weaponized incompetence in February, and she defines the phrase as follows: doing a care task poorly so your spouse will pick up the slack, asking 100 questions about how it's done. Never really learning how to do a domestic task well. All of these things take up the default domestic engineer's time and mental energy and keep those tasks on the domestic engineer's mind. It does not lighten the load to do a task poorly. Fair enough. Now, okay, asking hard questions. So I guess there's going to be good and bad. If you're asking the question because you know that your partner wants something done a specific way, and you're saying, well, hey, when you said to, I don't know, like do the laundry, do you want me to do the sheets too? Do you want me to do the towels as well? Whatever. Like I see clarifying questions, which could be good. So I guess those are also important. Let's see. In fact, weaponized incompetence achieves the exact opposite. In addition to forcing the domestic engineer, another apt phrase which Laura credits to her mom, to fix the failed task, weaponized incompetence also compels the domestic engineer to teach her male partner how to do said task correctly, even while doubting his willingness to retain her instructions. Or she can decide that in the future, she won't even bother asking for help in the first place. Additional labor and rage either way. Oh boy. Laura says she was overwhelmed at the public response to her recent video. My comments exploded with stories about resentful partners and new moms suffering from depression, not getting time to bathe or feed themselves. That is insane. If you're at this point, okay, I had to stop mid-sentence here. If you're at that point where literally this is not you being hyperbolic, like you are literally not being able to like take a shower or eat, because taking care of your child takes up every waking hour of your day, then you're beyond the point where learning about what weaponized incompetence means or posting comments on TikTok videos is going to help you. You're at the point where you have to sit down and have a conversation with your partner. And if you can't do that, then I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but that's not a good relationship that you're in, and you need to think of other options. If that is literally the point that you are at. Let's see. I knew it was an issue, and I'd seen the research, but my comment section turned into a space where parents were holding each other up and connecting in the collective pain and isolation of parenthood. Okay, again, if you are at this point where you are feeling pain and isolation and you are connecting with randoms over the internet because this is so difficult for you and every waking hour of your life is accounted for, then I'm sorry, but you need to do, there are other things that you need to do. TikTok comment sections is not going to help you. If you peruse more of Laura's content, you'll see that she has built a platform on highlighting the still pervasive problem of the second shift, a term originated by sociologist Arlie Hochschild in her book of the same name. Hochschild found that women, after leaving full days at their paid jobs, came home to another shift of unpaid domestic labor and care work. Laura wants to bring attention to the issue and undo the normalization of this behavior. The second shift was published in 1989, but as Laura's work on TikTok attests, the second shift is still very much a problem for many women and mothers. I don't know enough about this book, so I can't comment on like what they're talking about here. Here we go. In the recent viral video, Laura plugs Eve Rodsky's book, Fair Play, which takes a systematic approach to creating gender equality within households, or gender equity, within households. I emailed Rodsky, who thinks the phrase is brilliant. She noted that USC professor of psychology, Darby Saxby, it's a good name, calls weaponized incompetence male malingering, which I also love. Again, this is forcing, okay, is it I don't know, it might be a thing only men do, but I believe not, that it might not be. Rodsky went on to say that advice for women to lower their standards or stop doing unnecessary things is not only infuriating, but it is dangerous. She cites a friend's story as an example of this danger. My friend is married to a chef and found a paring knife in her child's car seat. WTF. As Rodsky's friend said after the incident, I'm not lowering my standards. There was a knife in my kid's effing car seat. So, okay. When she says in the car seat, does she mean that it like fell in between the cushions or whatever? Like, here's the thing, okay? It is very possible in that situation that somebody who's a professional cook was rummaging through stuff. Maybe they were running late, they were getting stuff ready, they had the knives in the back seat, whatever, and one of them slipped out and fell in there. Now, here's the thing. If you didn't see it, you didn't notice, maybe that was not the place you thought of looking. Maybe you said, hey, I'm looking for my paring knife. Where is it? Okay, well, it's not in my knife bag. I looked in the car. It's not in the car. Whatever, and you didn't notice it. That can happen, okay? I don't think this is weaponized incompetence, okay? It really, okay. Continuing on. While the old knife in the car seat trick is a crystal clear example of weapon, no, it is not. I do think it can be a little tricky to distinguish what might be an unreasonable standard from a simple expectation that something be done completely and safely. According to Laura, being on dish duty and letting it get so bad that the dinner duty partner doesn't have what they need to cook. Sure. Now that, okay, weaponized incompetence, right, doesn't necessarily have to be weaponized incompetence, right? Because here's the thing. This doesn't have to be that, because if you're asking someone saying, hey, I need you to do the dishes, okay? Well, did you set this up beforehand, or did you expect them to get it done without saying anything and they didn't do it? You know, in a relationship, I truly believe this. You need to be clear. Even if you don't believe you should say something or believe you should have to say something, you should still say something, because it doesn't have to be a big issue, because all you do is you say something before it becomes a problem, right? You set that expectation, you set that division of tasks early on in the relationship and say, hey, I'll do all the cooking, but as a result, you have to do all the dishes, okay? And if they agree to that, then you say, okay, great. Now, if it does get to that point, it gets to the point where, say, every dish in the house is dirty and the person who's cooking can't use anything. Well, then you broach that conversation and say, hey, I know I asked you to do the dishes, but can we adjust that? Can you do them a little more quickly? Can you focus on certain dishes first? Something because, hey, I need, this certain pan or pot or whatever, and I don't have it, and this is an issue, right? So that is the thing. It's not necessarily incompetence. It may just be a mismatch of information, or you may just be kind of not vibing with each other in that. But again, if you feel that it is, if you think they're doing it on purpose, it is your responsibility then to bring them up and to try and correct that, okay? But graham crackers, carrots, and peanut butter for weekend lunch, sending the kids to daycare in mismatched clothes, you need to come to a compromise. Sure, because again, unless, here's the thing. Graham crackers, carrots, and peanut butter is fine. Especially a young child, you can have a stack of graham crackers, some carrots, which are good for you, and peanut butter, which is also good for you. That sounds like a pretty hearty lunch to me, okay? Also, some people have different eating habits, okay? They are very common. I've very commonly met people who have like a very light breakfast or no breakfast, a very light lunch, and then they have like a really big dinner. That's fine. Sending kids to daycare in mismatched clothes happens all the time. Kids will dress wacky. It's daycare. Nobody cares. You're fine. What's key, according to both Laura and Rodsky, is that women should not, and if they want lasting change, cannot view domestic inequity as solely their problem to fix. Communication, very important, thank God. Delegation and setting up clear, agreed upon standards can ensure that both partners take ownership of a specific task. Exactly what I said. Thank God this article finally went somewhere smart. Yes, communicate with your partners, talk about these things, divide tasks up. Don't let things just get out of control. Women are spared the resentment and extra workload that attends being their male partners' de facto managers, while male partners are precluded from viewing their female partners as unreasonable absolutists. We should all have the gift of living in a society that stops viewing fathers as male partners, as helpers, and mothers and women as naturally suited for their emotional, mental, and physical exhaustion of taking on domestic labor and care work. The real gift we all want is to take the shower without fear of our male partner's babysitting skills aren't up to snuff. Thankfully, this last paragraph kind of brings this whole article in and actually like makes it good. The rest of this stuff is pretty insane. For this, because if you're getting to these points, like I said, as I said, if you're getting to this point, okay, where you're, not like one person said what, like they didn't have time to eat or shower or whatever, like, yeah, obviously that's bad. You should definitely have that conversation. So yeah, in the end, yes, can people use this whole idea of being incompetent as a way of letting other people do tasks for them? Yes, it is possible. It is something that can be done. But again, it's only done because it's worked in the past. No one is just discovering this today. It's because it's worked in the past for them and people have reinforced it and kept doing it over and over again. So my advice is, if you're in any kind of relationship and someone keeps doing something where they just never can get a task right, they're always messing up, you're always taking over for them, you're always doing it, have that conversation or delegate a different task to them. In the case of, like, say, a friendship, like the example was a friend forgetting to make a reservation at the restaurant. You know what? Maybe that friend's the unreliable one. Just don't delegate that task to them. Give them something else to do. It'll probably be better for you in the long run. Anyway, well, I hope you all enjoyed this one. I definitely did. Got a little heated more than normal, but this relationship stuff usually does, because a lot of this advice is pretty garbage. Anyway, let me know, of course, as always, what you think in the comments below, and I will see you all next time.